I wanted to try something different today with my recording setup, but I'm not sure that it's gonna work. So instead of having you guys on a tripod on the ground all the way over there where you can see me and see me on the edge here, kind of lay the cards, I have you guys on a tripod on the table because I wanted it to be closer so you could see, like when I hold up the card like that, you can see the card better. You guys let me know if you prefer that, okay? Because I really like that you can see the cards, right? But what I wanted to do was like bring the camera downwards when I laid out the cards, and then take it upwards when I talk with you guys, because I see a lot of card readers do that. But I'm starting to think that when they do that, they're doing it on their laptop. So they just kind of close the laptop a little bit to show the cards and they open it back up. I don't ever mess around with the camera on my laptop. As a matter of fact, it's covered with tape. I want nobody to see me. The thing comes on by and say, oh, are you crazy? So I use a professional camera, my Sony ZV-1. Hey, what are you eating? Don't eat that wire. And I record on my camera, so that's why, you know, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions about the Nancy Guthrie case today, and for the very last question that I want to ask, I've invited Joe to come out and sit with me so we can work with his intuition too. He doesn't know what the question is though, okay? So the first question I want to ask, oh, by the way, I'm not going to do another political reading yet until after all the votes are counted in California, because even though Mayor Bass won the primary for the LA mayor, and I want to say Xavier, but it's Javier. He says it the Brazilian way. Javier Becerra won the primary for the gubernatorial race for California. We still don't really know who is coming in second for both races, because apparently they're still counting the mail-in votes. We vote by mail. You know, a lot of people in California, 85% of us vote by mail, and they count those last. And it has to be post-dated by the date of the election. So people think that's cheating. No, it's not, as long as it's post-dated, right? So it looks like the Indian girl is gaining on Spencer Pratt for the mayoral second spot. And I went to go ask if she's Democrat or Republican. They said she's progressive, kind of like Mamdani. So I'm like, okay, it'll be cool if she gets second place. You know, Mayor Bass, if Mayor Bass ends up losing, which I hope not, then we could have somebody else that's not Spencer Pratt, right? And then for the gubernatorial race, it's the same thing, I guess. Is it Tom Steyer? Yeah, Tom Steyer. I want to say Tim. Tom Steyer is creeping up on that Steve Hilton, and Tom Steyer supposedly is also a Democrat, the billionaire, but I don't want him to win. But I'd be okay if he came in second, so that Becerra could go up against him, right? Anyways, first question about the Miss Nancy case. We're gonna do Lenormand for that one. I've shuffled all the cards well enough. I'm gonna put the man in the middle, so I'm gonna look for the man. Oh, let me cut the card. Let me cut the deck. So I'm gonna put the man in the middle, because I want to find out about this young man named, the channel name is Daa Juice, D-A-A Juice, the word juice. He goes and sits in front of Miss Nancy's house, and so does Alex and a couple more people. And I like when they go out there. I just don't want them to stay there after dark, because I feel like the neighbors will come careening around the bend in their car and run them over for spite. I really worry about them. Well, yesterday the sheriff deputy went out and had contact with the Juice. And they do that constantly. And the Juice is always, he's a black guy. He's always respectful, humble, and do not like get all worked up. I can't find the man. Did I miss him? Oh, here he is. So the Juice is the man. I'm going to put him in the middle. What came before, the two that came before, and then the two that comes after. And there's only three that could come after. So you know how Lenormand works. You read the whole thing like a sentence, and I've been trying to do my tarot like that too, with the 5 that I set out. So the sheriff deputy gave Juice a citation, and it's not just like a traffic ticket that you can pay, you know, and then do the schooling and you get off. This is where he has to go to court in front of a judge. It's a misdemeanor. I don't know if it's a class 3, 2, or 1. The 1 is the worst. I think the least one is a class 3, where he could spend a month in jail, $500 penalty, including lawyer fees, right? And a year probation, and then it increases to 4 months in prison and 3, not prison but jail, and 3 years probation. And this guy works in the medical field. He's a physical therapist, and he doesn't have any kind of a record. So I'm like, please God, protect the Juice. because he wasn't doing anything wrong. He sat on his little folding chair. He was on the easement, but people have made it really horrible over there. I don't know who's doing this. I don't know who's doing this. We're going to ask that as a question. But they've gone and put cacti, that's the plural of cactus, and rocks, big boulders on the easement, so the guys can't sit on the easement, so they're a little bit in the road. So the sheriff had already come up before and said you can't be in the road. So the Juice knows this, but he wasn't really in the road. He was on the easement trying to, like, the rocks and stuff are in the way, and they tell them they can't move it. Somebody went and smeared poop all over the rocks, right? I don't know who's doing this. We're going to ask that question. And so he had his, just a little folding chair. He had it on the easement, but the two front legs of the chair was right tipping into the road. So his toes were right there tipping into the road. And that's what they gave this guy a whole misdemeanor for. So the streamers are pooling together to find him an attorney. One of them called Exploring with Jim. He called in, and because he's from California, and he drives 12 hours to go there to search. He actually searches for Miss Nancy. He's not going to find her because she's not on alive anymore. I wholeheartedly believe that part, right? And so he said a friend of his is a lawyer over there in Arizona, and he wants to take the case pro bono. I hope that's true. If not, the streamers are doing a thing tonight to raise money. If I can contribute at least $5, I will, to raise money to hire a lawyer for the Juice. But I wish that Alex wouldn't go out there tonight, because they're gonna come do the same thing to Alex. I feel like it's racially motivated, because the Juice is black, Alex is Mexican descent, right? I think he's born here but Mexican descent. And everybody else white, they left alone. And even JLR, who is white, said this is a racial thing. So it was traumatic for me to watch that yesterday. So the Juice is in the middle, and I want to find out, is he gonna be okay? And so the first card that comes up is the Garden. This is about public recognition. I feel like this will be the thing to, like, gather everybody together to crack this case. And then the House. We're going to look up what the House is about. That's number 4. Usually when I'm reading politics, I know that's the White House. But what is it about in this part of the read? It's about home, family, real estate, domestic matters. So the Juice has a family. He keeps saying my girl, so I don't think he's married to the mother of his children. But he's got like 4 little kids. And according to all the streamers, they're humble and smart and sweet. They need their dad. They don't need their dad to be going to jail for some foolishness. The chair is just right there. Oh my God, are you kidding? So this, I think he's worried about his home, his livelihood, contracts and agreements. He's gonna get a lawyer. He's gonna get a good lawyer. And then the coffin. Now, I don't like the coffin at the end of it. Let's see what the coffin actually means. And it is about endings, death, letting go, hardship. So I don't like the ending of this sentence for the Juice. I don't want him to have to go through any hardship, right? I'm hoping that this hardship is going to be for the person who's making these calls. I'm going to pull 3 clarifiers. I already shuffled the deck for the coffin to see what's happening here. Okay. All right, so this tells me a little bit more about probably who's doing it. Knight of Cups, you know who this is when I read about Miss Nancy, right? If you've been watching me for any length of time, this is Tommaso. Is he the one making the calls? Because I was starting to feel sorry for him and Annie. Is he the one making the calls, Jesus? Now, I'm not accusing, I'm asking questions, because tarot is for what? Entertainment purposes only. And then what comes up? The 7 of Cups. We get this a lot in the Miss Nancy reads. I wanted to paint my nails and I started already, but it was getting too hot out here and too bright. So I'm like, come do your stuff, girl. And then go back in and deal with that. So do you like seeing the cards closer up like this? Because I noticed when the camera's all the way back there, you can't see the cards. So the 7 of Cups is about many choices, illusions, and delusions, right? This comes up a lot in the Miss Nancy reads too, remember? And the 4 of Cups is about apathy and boredom and disconnected. All right, so I don't know that if it's Tommaso doing the calls, but if it's somebody, I feel like it's somebody from the family. I really do feel like it's somebody from the family that's making these calls. They want these guys gone. They don't want them having eyes on that house anymore. People think it's the neighbors. They've pulled the FOIA requests on the call. Hey, Joe, don't go yet. You want to come? You want to come? They've pulled the FOIA requests, meaning that they can get who made the phone calls. And you're going to hear who it is. They've pulled the FOIA requests on a lot of these phone calls already when they send the sheriff's deputies out there. So We're gonna hear the voice, not that we're gonna know who it is, but we're gonna hear if it's a man or a woman. And sometimes they say, I'm a concerned neighbor, I'm watching them right down the street. So the charge that he got charged with is impeding and blocking traffic. When Ted and JLR and Alex and them were out there that night, and Ted was putting cones in the street and jumping the cones and this and that, nobody called on that. Oh, I want to show this. Sit down for a second, baby. I made a pillow from my leftover cord from doing my macrame. And so I use all the leftover cord to make this. At first I didn't want to put the browns in there because it was already doing a theme with the blues, the pink, the greens, whatever. And Joshua and Joe goes, look, you're using scrap for a reason. Don't get caught up on the pattern. And so I don't like things in macrame that ends in fringe like this, because I feel like you have to keep on fluffing it up, right? But it's okay, it's okay. So I have this canvas. I put 2 pieces of cloth together and Joe sewed it for me with the sewing machine, and I have an opening and I have it stuffed inside already with the leftover thing that I cut off from here, because this is cotton. And then I'm gonna go to the store and buy some batting, if I can afford the batting, because that stuff is expensive now too, and just fill it up, fatten it up, and it'll be a little pillow. Maybe you could put it in your back when we go on the drives and see if it helps. You know?
Maybe.
A decorative pillow. So I asked the question just now if Juice is gonna be okay, the guy that got arrested. Well, he didn't get arrested. The cop says, I can arrest you, but I'm not gonna arrest you. I'm just gonna write the citation. And then when JLR heard that it was a misdemeanor, that's when he freaked out, because JLR went to prison before for a felony, because he was ripping people off of money digitally. And he went to prison, I don't know for how many years. He doesn't hide it. And it was when he was in his 20s. Now he's almost 50. He's 49. So he freaked out when he heard of a misdemeanor. He goes, a misdemeanor on this guy's record for what? You know, so they're hiring an attorney. So I showed Joe on the cards that this is a public recognition type thing. And then the house is about domestic type things. The boy has a family, the young man has a family. And then that's the guy, and then a contract, meaning the lawyer. But I didn't like this card, which was the coffin, because it means death, endings. So I don't know if it'll be an ending to his situation, or if it'll be an ending to him, you know, meaning, man, he's gonna have a record or whatever. So I pulled clarifiers and I got the Knight of Cups, which I have designated this card to Tommaso, the son-in-law, and then the 7 of Cups, which is about illusions and delusions, and then the 4 of Cups, which is about apathy and boredom.
So why would he get a record? For what?
Because it's a misdemeanor, because it's the 2 legs of the front of the chair was on the road. So let me tell this, and all this is alleged. Somebody calls Alex from Criminal Network knows a guy named Fat Redial. Fat Redial makes all the songs that they're making about this case, right? And Fat Redial does sleuthing also, and he already investigated the sheriff's deputy that gave the guy the citation. And he said, not me, I'm not the one saying it, he said that this deputy was charged before. I don't know if it was convicted and served time or whatever, but he was doing self-pleasure to himself in his RMP, which is his car, right? His deputy car. At least they said no less than 30 times. Like, this man waited to go to work to do this stuff, right? Sick. And they fired him, and he went and became a mailman, which I don't know how you can become because that's a federal thing too, right? You get vetted really well to be a mailman. And then he came back, and now he's on the force, and he's the one ticketing the young man. So the next question we're gonna ask, we already asked about the Juice.
Trump there?
If he's gonna be, is that JetBlue? JetBlue, right? It has blue on it.
Yeah, but it's okay. President goes.
He's not gonna fly over here. So the next question is, we want to ask if he's gonna get a good attorney.
Okay.
Huh? We want to ask, is the Juice gonna get a good attorney? And we're not gonna put anything in the middle. We're gonna let the Holy Ghost pick it all. So we're gonna move some. Is the Juice, I'm turning them face down, okay? Joe, I kind of like this setup because they can see me better and they can see the cards better. But it's a problem because I can't, like, I wanted to reach and turn the camera downwards and turn it upwards, but I can't reach the thing all the way back there. There's a message coming, right? Again, we got this public recognition. You know what? That coughing at the end kind of spooked me for the juice, but he might get a lot of publicity off of this. Subscribers, they were donating last night already, and he might even make it into the news because they did this to him, because it's showing more and more that the sheriff department doesn't want to solve this case. And then there's a block.
Why would they want to solve a case that already solved?
Here comes this damn coughing again. There's an ending coming. There's a block. The mountain is a block. There's an ending coming. And then a good outcome. So I feel like he's going to get a good lawyer, but I feel like Juice is going to be the catalyst for the corruption that's going on behind there in the sheriff department. Joe, do you have another question that I want to ask? You want me to ask before I ask the Gush about this whole situation? Let's ask if the family, is it the family that's calling? Is it the family that's making these calls? Now, if the 10 of cups come up, I'm going to fall down. Is it the family that's making these calls to the sheriff?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Where the lady live out there? There's a lot of people live around in the neighborhood?
They're a good, maybe 2 houses length from the next house.
Okay.
So not this house, not that house, the next one. They have like a good half an acre or an acre that they sit on.
Well, it could be anyone. It could be the family, it could be the neighbors.
Well, we're gonna ask 2 questions then. The first question is it the family that's calling on the streamers? Is it the family? Meaning Savannah, Cameron, Tommaso, Annie, any of them. Is it the family that's calling on the streamers? Let's cut the deck. We're gonna pull 5 cards. Is it the family? I'm gonna put them face down. I'm doing tarot for this. I almost have all the, actually I have all the money to buy my printer. I really do. But this one wants to come, so I'm gonna put him. I also have bills. Bills every day. Bills, man can't pay. What? What in the flag again, so far?
Okay, sir.
It's circle.
Maybe you couldn't pick. Maybe you have to wait until.
You know, we're from Belize, so we don't even say the plain land, we say pitch. He couldn't pitch.
You couldn't pitch.
Joe, why do we say pitch?
Because I would get bird pitch.
A bird lands also.
Well, I don't know why.
It's circling. Is it trying to dump fuel?
No, maybe not really. Maybe they out in Ontario, maybe they you have to wait till something take up.
Okay, we're going to pay attention to this, because if you see kaboom, well, he's far away from us now. So this is what they don't see coming. This is whoever's making the calls, this is what they don't see coming. So then the first card that comes up is the King of Wands, visionary, natural leader, entrepreneur. What did we give Cameron for the King card? Did we give Cameron a King card? The 4 of Cups, boredom. It's somebody who's bored. Apathy, disconnected. Somebody just don't, it's like, I'm sick of these damn streamers sitting in front of my street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Ace of Wands. The aces usually means yes, that it's the family, but I'm still not sure that it's the family. The 8 of Wands, speed, momentum, progress, swift change. There's going to be a swift change happening for who's doing this, because they're going to find out who's doing it, huh? What's up?
Is any of the family live close by?
4 miles away. The daughter and the son-in-law. The daughter that I suspected originally, but I don't suspect that she's the mastermind.
Wait.
I suspect that somebody commanded her to do it.
4 miles away from where the mother live?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's them. They could set up somebody close by to
call?
To call.
Okay. 2 of Pentacles, balance, multitasking, juggling. It's somebody that's juggling something. And then the Judgment card. They're going to get busted, whoever's doing it. This card right here doesn't necessarily tell me that it's the family that's doing it, because I didn't get the 10 of Cups for family, right? Joe doesn't think it's the family.
Maybe they could be involved, don't get me wrong.
So let's ask.
But they got somebody doing the calling.
Let's ask if it's the neighbor that's called, her name is called Sue Ellen. I want to send JLR that song so bad. It says, I ain't JR and you ain't Sue Ellen, right? Remember that song? But his name is JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches. So we want to find out, is it that neighbor, that 1-1 neighbor? People call her Sue Yellen, because she yells at them all the time. Is it that neighborhood Karen? Is it her that's the one that's calling? Let's pull Lenormand on that. We're going to put the woman in the middle.
There's somebody close by that see them when they...
She's close by. She's close by. So that's what Joe feels. I love when Joe comes in on it. I like when Jada comes in on it too, because they have their own intuition. And Joe feels strongly. Did you see? It's somebody right nearby. See?
There's somebody
See?
nearby, but the family is involved with those people.
Oh. Comes right up on the third card. Go ahead, baby.
The family is involved. They don't want to tell the people to call when people show up.
So they tell him to do it.
Right.
Dog is about loyalty. So this person is loyal to the family, like what Joe is saying. There is a block, the mountain. Let's look up the other meanings of the mountain, because all I know is the block. It is obstacle, blockage, delays, procrastination. And then Sue Ellen's in the middle, right where we put her. Well, the Karen. Tara is for entertainment purposes only, and so is Lenormand, and so is Oracle. The letter. What is the letter about? What is the letter about? I want to say message, but I don't think it's as easy as that. The letter is about documents, award, written information. Is that the citation that they ordered? And again, this card. This is the third time this card came out about public recognition. They're gonna get. They're gonna find out. They're gonna find out, right, Joe? Let's pull 3 tarot cards on the mountain to see what the blockage is about. So 3 cards. These are called clarifiers, Joe. The cards are really speaking today. So we got the 7 of Swords. Then we get that already. Illusions, delusions, right? Many choices. That's the mountain. And then the Star, hope, healing, guidance, and inspiration. And then the 2 of Pentacles, balance, multitasking. So didn't we say that remember we asked if it was the family and this came up, somebody's balancing something. So once the 4-year request is granted and we hear the calls, I'll definitely come back and read on this again to see, if they figured out, because people are smart in the streaming stuff and they're figuring things out and they're gonna start doxing people. So I heard one of the phone calls and you hear the lady, well, I live here, but I'm visiting a friend, and I see them in the street, and they're starting a fire, and the streamers are not starting no kind of fires or nothing like that. I'm like, what the? How can they get away with this and not get arrested, right?
Because the police around there is with them. So.
Okay, so the last time I asked the question if the sheriff knows something about this case. Now I want to ask a different question. Is the sheriff involved in this case? Not involved to the point where he's investigating it, like he helped do the crime. That's the question I'm asking. Again, tarot is for entertainment purposes only, and we can't know none of this stuff to be facts, right? Not facts. Our opinion, our understanding of the cards. So we're gonna look for the man. I love that I'm learning both systems at the same time. And my Oracle system that I'm working on right now, oh my God, you guys are gonna love those cards. You might even want to buy one. Even if you're not into cards like that, they're not, I don't feel like the cards I'm making has anything to do with divination. I think it has everything to do with building you up. Look at these cards. Ooh. Because there's a picture. I wish I can find it. If I can find it, I'll drop it right here. But I've been having trouble finding that picture where somebody put the picture of the perp, not the video with him on the porch, but with him standing out more into the yard. They said that picture was taken on the 11th, but they have no timestamps to show us. Somebody put the sheriff side by side with that picture, and it was the same body frame. And I kind of chuckled at it when I first saw it. I'm like, but now I'm starting to ask the question: is it him? So the first card that came up is the cross. This is about a burden to bear. He's bearing a burden right now. And then the fox is about sneakiness, deception, theft, robbery. It's about a job, and it's about work also. I don't think it's about job and work in this one. I think it's about the sneakiness and everything that he could possibly be involved. Here he is. I put him in the middle. And here's the mice. I like how it's only one mouse, but they call it the mice. Here is the mice, right? The mice is about anxiety. It eats away at stuff. He lost his brother, like right when this case started. He was grieving his brother. The brother had just died. I was like, he should have taken himself off the case, right? He's stressed. And then the key. This unlocks something. Because he said, when I was there the night before, I was like, how was he at the house the night before, which is January 31st, when the lady went missing in the wee hours of the morning, February 1st? And then people said, oh, he misspoke. No, he slipped up. He was probably there the night before. He slipped up. So the gush question, this is what I really wanted Joe to be here for. Thank you for sitting with me this long, babe.
What's that? What you
The
want?
gush question I want to ask. What was the question again now? Will we ever... Okay, you know I suspect that the family has Miss Nancy alive somewhere, right? That's my suspicion. Have no proof of this. Do not take this as fact. I can't reiterate enough that I wish that this is not true, that this family is not involved. I'll tell you why. They're Democrats. I don't want Democrats to be guilty of something like this.
Human, just like
You know,
anybody.
people like to say, I'm not going to put politics. I'm putting politics in it. I don't want them to be guilty of this. But if they don't have her, Miss Nancy's not alive. Okay? But if they have her, then she is alive. So the question is, if, big capital IF, if they have her, because I believe if they have her, Cameron has her in Vermont. I saw another reader was asking if Savannah had her in New York. I think Cameron has her in Vermont. That's why we got that ship one time when we read Lenormand on this. So if they have her safe and sound, will we, the public, ever see her again? You think that's a good question? What's your intuition on it before I pull the cards?
Well, I don't know if anybody gonna see her again. I mean, she's alive. They got her somewhere.
You believe she's alive and they got
She's
her?
alive.
Okay.
And well,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and she enjoying herself, but I guess they just keep on hiding her because I don't know. Maybe they don't want to get busted or nothing. But you know how long they find that lady from? Remember from the time when they said they find some.
Yeah, on February 10th when they
From
helicoptered
that
an
time.
84-year-old victim.
Why you think that nobody want? They don't care about search and all that. And,
Yeah, and they don't want the streamers to search.
Right,
And then, okay, if that 84-year-old lady was your mom or my mom, and she got rescued from the desert, and people are thinking it's Miss Nancy, don't you think we would already call the media to tell them, no, that was my mom. That wasn't Miss Nancy. That was my mom. Why did somebody not do that? And where's this Uber driver? We're going to ask two gush questions. Kathy's going to love this because Kathy loves the gush. The first question, I have 5 cards laid out, and then what's hidden underneath it all is this. The first question is, are we ever going to see Miss Nancy again if the family has her tucked away safe somewhere? Because how are they going to bring her forward and go, oopsie, we found her, right?
You can see her again. You see pictures.
Then the next question, don't forget this question. The next question I'm going to ask, was there truly an Uber driver? I don't think the Uber driver exists. 4 of Swords, rest, recovery, reflection. She's resting. Some people think this is the death card in the minor arcana. I've never attached that feeling to it. I've always felt like it's what it says. Resting, the recovering, the reflecting, and the retreating. I think that's Miss Nancy retreating. I think they told her a lie. When Jada says even Miss Nancy's involved in her own kidnapping, yes and no. Yes, because she went along willingly with the family if they did it, but no, because they told her a lie that, oh, Savannah has a threat, right? Again, my opinion. 5 of Swords, conflict, defeat, dishonor, competition. I feel like this is how Cameron feels. Because I feel like if Cameron's involved in this, he got into it last minute. They told him after the fact, man, brah, we were doing this thing. We didn't tell you because we know your position with the military and all this stuff. But help.
Nobody can get me.
5 of Cups, loss, grief, regret, mourning, sorrow. Did she die? Why is the 5 of Cups coming up in there? Strength, courage, patience, inner power. Do we have to have courage, inner patience, and patience and inner power? The 9 of Cups, fulfillment, satisfaction, gratitude, luxury. This leads me to believe that we might see her. They might bring her forward and go, oh, Savannah had a threat, so we were keeping her safe, and that's why we told this kidnapping lie. But, thanks for you guys looking for her.
If the lady's alive, they can't hide her forever.
Queen of Pentacles, nurturing, resourceful, practical. Some people think that Savannah, no, I give Savannah the Queen of Swords. So what do you think from these cards? You want me to pull clarifiers on any of this? Let's pull it on the 5 of Cups. Let's pull clarifiers on the 5 of Cups. Why did this 5 of Cups come in here? The 5 of Swords, we know they're bickering. All the people who are involved, from Carlos Panazuelas, who was detained, all of them are fighting. Everybody was kung fu fighting. That's when songs used to be good. I'm starting to sound old when I say when songs used to be good. So let's pull these clarifiers for the 5 of Cups. All right, so the first one is the stork. And the stork is about new ideas, transformation, right? Word and its change. And then the bouquet is about let's find the bouquet. It's about happiness, beauty, gift, pleasant. And then the whip is about pain and suffering. Is the family going to go through some pain and suffering for what they done did? If they did it, we're going to come like, oh gee, if I did it, this is how I did it. If I did it, this is how I did it. All right, so the next question we're going to ask, is there truly an Uber driver? I don't know that Tarot and Lenormand can answer a question like that, but does the Uber driver truly exist? I've heard that the Uber driver is a woman. I've heard that the Uber driver had cameras, or a camera inside her car. I can see that. If I drove for Uber, I would have one facing out, one facing in. Or we have a camera like that in the car. They're cheap now. $20-something you can get one facing out and facing in. And I've heard that she's turned over the evidence to the Popo because people are taking it as fact that that's the last time she was seen by somebody other than the family when she was in that Uber going towards her daughter's house that evening, you know, to go celebrate her birthday playing mahjong or whatever. I don't think she was ever in the Uber. I don't think an Uber, because what Uber driver you know, they make a little bit of money. What Uber driver wouldn't take a payoff to come give their story?
Maybe they pay her off to be quiet. Who knows?
I love it when Joe comes in here and make a joke off of his own ideas. Joe said maybe the family pay him better.
Maybe if somebody come by and up the stick.
If you were the Uber driver, what would you do? Tell the truth and shame the devil. What would you do?
Well,
if you were the Uber driver?
Let me put it this way. If I was the Uber driver, and I know the lady is not dead, and they come and pay me $1 million to shut my mouth up, I take $1 million and shut my mouth up.
Okay.
I mean, that's because I know the lady is not dead. But if the lady was dead, no.
Joe said for $1 million? I'd do it for $1 million. Well, let me show you what they don't see, what we don't see coming about this Uber driver, okay? So the first card is the magician. Not the magician. Was there really an Uber driver? Me don't think so. From the first card. The next one is the Page of Pentacles. Somebody young. Was it Tommaso's son that went and picked up the step-grandma? Because I think they said he had an older son and he has one with Annie. That's the kid's like 13. Fulfillment. Ooh! If she exists, she got paid. Fulfillment, satisfaction, gratitude, luxury. The 3 of Wands is about progress, expansion, looking ahead. I said I was going to start telling you guys how I made my cards. So I put this, the corns, the elote on that table over there. And I shot the picture that way when Joe had his pumpkin growing. He grew some more pumpkin this year too. And it's about progress, expansion, looking ahead. And all 3 of them are elote only on one side. So I turned the other one around because when I took the picture, they all 3 kind of look the same. So I turned the other one around to grab your attention. And that's how I came up with that card about growth and expansion. And then the 5th card is the world. Woo! He or she living it up. They probably already moved.
That's what I'm saying. She get her money. Yeah. I don't give her right. I mean, if I know the lady is living, and they want to pay me $1 million for me to shut my mouth up, then that's fine. I mean,
oh my God! Look at Annie, Queen of Wands. That's Annie. We gave that to Annie, Queen of Wands. Look at Annie showing up here.
But the only way, okay, let's put it this way: the only way I wouldn't take the $1 million is If I know it was hurting the lady or they want to harm her, then no.
Some of my cards are upside down, guys.
Then there's something I will report right away.
We're gonna fix them when I'm done. So, another question came to mind just now, but it slipped my mind again. Oh, the house in the back. You know, we can build a house back here because this yard is called a pool-sized backyard. I think this tree is itching my nose. But we can also build something called an ADU back here. The politician back there has one. Cute little house, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, but it took up all the rest of the yard. And he just has it junky. When he showed it to us, it was just full of junk. Like office junk. Letters and papers. In Tucson, they call it a casita, meaning a small house, right? Because casa is house, a casita. Why was the casita messy while Miss Nancy's house was immaculate? Why? Why do you think the casita was messy?
Somebody living back
Somebody living back there, okay. Do you think it was the son?
Who knows? I don't really know them to that to know who live back there.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that question. Instead of asking why was the casita messy, Joanna already came to the conclusion that it is somebody was staying there. So we're going to ask, was it the son or was it somebody nefarious that was staying there and nobody knew? Like the perp. If it's the stranger, if it's the, you know, if we go with the theory that it's a stranger that's the perp. Man, this is a long gush. Kathy's going to love this one. Okay, hidden underneath it all, what we don't see coming. And the first one is the 9 of Pentacles. That's somebody with money. Okay, who was staying there? The 9 of Cups. All these 9s, and these 9s are good cards. Who was staying there, Joe? Not the perp. The 6 of Cups. No, oh, it was the son. It was Cameron, in my opinion. Because this is about childhood nostalgia, reminiscing, going back to a happier day of childhood. It was him. The Knight of Cups. No, it wasn't Tommaso. Tommaso's in there. I know this card is Tommaso because damn, it comes up all the time for him. And then El Diablo. Addiction. Indulgence. Temptation. Who the hell was that? What's up? What happened?
You know the pop star in London?
Okay, hold on. Tana, no, give me 1 second. The burden, overloaded, stress. Whoever that person was in the casita was overloaded and stressed out. I still feel like it was the son. That's just my opinion. I have no way of proving this, and we're not accusing anybody. Thank you guys for watching. And Kathy just advised me that you guys can't hype the video because I don't have 500 subscribers or more. I know there was a maximum subscribers. If you have over 500,000, they don't let nobody hype you, but I guess there's a minimum. You have to have 500 to even get a hype. So just like, subscribe, and share, okay? And the next video that I tape is gonna be about politics. I just gotta go figure out my questions that I have to ask. Bye.
Bye, folks.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.